It's not about you fitting your ADHD into a system. It's about fitting a system into your ADHD. Ask not what you could do for your ADHD, but what your ADHD could do for you. So yeah, that was kind of corny. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Steve, and on my channel, I talk about my experience with ADHD. Because you never know, maybe you could relate. And if you can relate, maybe I have a tip or two that'll help you out. You'll just have to stay tuned and find out. But that's kind of what I'm talking about today. Life hacks, task management systems, coping mechanisms, all that type of stuff. You need to know a few things before you start building your own. And you need to build your own. There's a reason for that. I'll get into that in a minute. But the first thing you need to know, you need to learn about your ADHD, not just ADHD in general. So what do I mean by that? Learning about ADHD in general is about what is a symptom, what could be a symptom, what's not a symptom. But learning about your ADHD, that's learning about when does this symptom affect me? When does it come out? What time of day? What situation? How do I react to those situations? That type of thing. You got to think of yours and learn yours. Once you learn yours, coming up with hacks and so forth, they're still difficult. But at least you have a better understanding of what you need when it comes to an ADHD hack, rather than just going out there and searching for it blindly. Next thing I want to let you know is you might need to unlearn some stuff. If you're like me, I was diagnosed late in life. 2 years ago, I got diagnosed. So I spent my whole life trying to come up with systems and hacks and so forth to try and get my life on track. But a lot of those systems and hacks were taught to me by people that didn't have ADHD. So no wonder it didn't work, because my brain doesn't work like that. Now that I know I have ADHD, when I sit down to try and come up with some sort of system to cope with those coping mechanisms, I don't know if that made sense. That makes sense? When I try to sit down and come up with coping mechanisms for those symptoms, I tend to fall into the same old habits and realize that we need a system for a system for a system for a system. We have a task management system. Now we need a system to actually get up and start that system. And then we need a system to actually get up and complete those tasks. And then we need a system to remember that we actually have a system to complete tasks. We need to build another system because we forgot about the other system and we didn't use that system. So it basically fell off into the wayside. So you know what I'm saying. You need a system for a system for a system, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense. Leave a comment if it doesn't make sense, and then I'll apologize. Well, I'm going to apologize now. You don't have to leave a comment. You could if you want, but we're not going to go there. Most of us are creative in stuff like photography, art, building things, whatever your hobby is at the time, your interest. Nobody says we can't be creative here. There's a TikToker by the name of Katiosaurus, I think that's her. She has this great slogan that says, "It's not dumb if it works for you." So what is the symptom you're trying to cope with? Once you figure that out, and then you can come up with a solution. And hopefully you can come up with a solution that actually works. Of course, it might not stick because symptoms kind of change, we change, that type of thing. So we're going to constantly keep coming up with life hacks and systems and so forth, but at least you know your ADHD. So once you start to see that this hack is not working anymore, you know to look for another one or to think of another one, that type of thing. Or if you want, batch think them. Yeah, think about 5 of them at a time. That way, once one stops working, you got one in your back pocket to pull out and use. That's kind of an idea. That's my hack for the day. Batch hack. That's it. Trust me, I took my meds today, I swear. I know I kind of rambled on at the end of that. That's basically what I do. I hope you guys understood this. I'm hoping that it made a little sense at least, and you got something out of it. If you did, hit the like button, maybe subscribe, all that type of stuff. And I'll see you next time.
I don't know if that even made any sense. I wonder if that made sense.